The psychology of spending. Why we overspend and how to stop. We've all been there, the impulse to splurge, the thrill of a new purchase, only to feel guilty later as our bank account takes a hit. Although overspending is a widespread problem, taking control of our finances may start with understanding why we do it. The psychology of spending is complicated and frequently goes against our best interests, due to factors including social pressures and emotional impulses. However, we may begin making better decisions and halting the cycle of overspending if we can identify the psychological elements that underlie our financial behaviors. This video will examine 7 major causes of excessive spending and provide helpful advice for better money management. Understanding the psychology of spending is the first step in taking charge of our finances, whether that means reconsidering our spending patterns, fighting emotional spending, or learning to reject quick satisfaction. Let's get started. 1. Emotional spending. The connection between emotions and monetary choices. Emotional expenditure is a major psychological factor that contributes to excessive spending. Whether it's tension, depression, boredom, or even happiness, a lot of individuals turn to buying as a coping method. The pleasure area of the brain may be activated by the momentary emotional release we receive from buying something new, offering us happiness or a diversion from unpleasant feelings. Avoiding or numbing unpleasant emotions is a common motivation for emotional expenditure. It is easy to give in to the temptation of purchasing something that temporarily elevates our mood, which is why retail therapy has become so popular. 2. Instant gratification's role. Waiting versus wanting it now. Instant gratification is hardwired into human nature. The instant gratification that comes with spending money, whether it is a luxury experience, a new pair of shoes, or a device, frequently attracts us. Because it gives one a sense of pleasure and fulfillment right away, instant gratification might feel empowering. 3. Peer pressure and social influence. Keeping up with the times. Social influence is another psychological element that contributes significantly to excessive spending. Since humans are social beings by nature, we frequently look to others around us for validation and approval. Social media has exacerbated this effect in the modern world. We feel pressured to keep up when we see friends and influencers sharing pictures of their opulent purchases, trips, and experiences. Keeping up with the Joneses is the term for this. Unhealthy financial behavior might result from social comparison. We run the risk of purchasing items we don't need and can't afford when we base our purchasing decisions on what other people have or are doing. Our need for status and approval in our social circles is closely linked to this behavior. Enjoying the occasional treat is perfectly acceptable, but going overboard to keep up with others can lead to serious financial difficulties. 4. The accessibility. The illusion of affordability as a heuristic, a cognitive bias known as the availability. Heuristic leads us to base our decisions more on information that is easily accessible to us than on the big picture. This prejudice can show up in a number of ways when it comes to spending. For instance, we can believe that it's a good time to buy even if we don't need the things, if we regularly see ads for deals or discounts. Additionally, the availability heuristic may cause us to overestimate our financial circumstances. We can mistakenly believe that we can afford similar items, even if they are beyond of our budget, if we observe others spending freely and getting by with no obvious consequences. It's critical to stand back. 5. Fear of missing out. FOMO and scarcity. Purchasing urgently. One psychological trigger that can affect how much money is spent is scarcity. When we believe that an opportunity is fleeting, whether it is a sale, a flash sale, or a limited time offer, we frequently experience FOMO. Even when we don't truly need the item, this sensation of urgency may cause us to make an impulsive purchase. In order to take advantage of our fear of missing out, retailers use countdown timers, limited time specials, and warnings such as only a few items left in stock. In the era of internet shopping, where we can purchase anything with a single click and sales are continuously advertised, FOMO is especially intense. This feeling of urgency may lead to excessive expenditure and the acquisition of pointless goods. 6. The strength of habit. Automating needless expenditures. Our financial life is heavily influenced by our habits. Many of us have formed habitual and unconscious spending habits, such as ordering takeout frequently, buying things on sale that we don't actually need, or getting coffee every morning. These behaviors are motivated by routine, and until we examine them more closely, we frequently aren't aware of the financial impact they make. Over time, spending habits can solidify, making it difficult to interrupt the cycle. Making thoughtful financial decisions and raising awareness of your expenditures are the first steps in kicking these habits. Automating your savings is an excellent way to reduce wasteful spending. You may make sure that your financial future comes before your spending habits by setting up recurring payments to a savings or investment account. 7. Cognitive dissonance, explaining bad purchasing decisions. When our behavior deviates from our ideals or beliefs, it is known as cognitive dissonance and causes discomfort. We frequently attempt to rationalize our actions in an attempt to ease this anguish. This can occur when we justify needless expenditures in an effort to lessen our guilt. For instance, we may persuade ourselves that a small purchase won't negatively impact our budget. In conclusion, breaking the cycle of financial stress requires an understanding of the psychology underlying excessive expenditure. Our purchasing decisions are significantly influenced by societal pressures, emotional triggers, and the need for immediate pleasure. In conclusion, breaking the cycle of financial stress requires an understanding of the psychology underlying excessive expenditure. Our purchasing decisions are significantly influenced by societal pressures, emotional triggers, and the need for immediate pleasure. Why we overspend and how to stop, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.